Alright guys, we're going to be on Live Oaks in the T-54 Lightweight. This is going to be a pretty good game, but I got into a situation that I really want you guys to see. I've been in this situation before where I had to defend the east portion of this map from the southwest spawn, and what you're going to see is kind of how I managed that, but I literally had to I don't even know what term I could use, but I had to give my team a shove via the chat to tell them, guys, help me do something. Like, do something, you know. Everyone was being so passive. ISU takes a shot to me here. I was aggressive and trying to shoot these guys. EBR was here, so I just figured maybe they would try and target the EBR or something. But you just have to be careful, guys, when you poke this. You know, you're going to get lit taking a shot like this. So I'm poking this. EBR eventually dies here. He's just too aggressive, right? Like, this is just too aggressive at the start of the battle. It's a good play for him. It's just too much, man. But at least he cleans up the AMX 1390, so we're kind of home free here to, I guess, just chill in this bush unless someone's going to blind fire it, but they don't. And we can kind of outspot the ISU T77 if they're going to poke up here. So we're going to stay here for the time being, but I already know that we're going to lose the eastern portion of this map. And again, what you're going to see here is how I adjust, right, to what is going on in the map, but everyone else was just sitting in this entire area. And I even put in the chat something like, way too many of you, I don't like to be rude to anybody. Like, there's a lot of casual players that play this game, but I'll just say something in the chat like, guys, there's way too many of you doing freaking nothing. Like, you guys need to go do something. And that doesn't mean like everyone YOLO the enemy team. It just means kind of start repositioning. Like, look at the map, adjust to the map, look what's going on the map, make your adjustments. There's nothing here, everything is here. Like, start maneuvering around to get to where you need to be, especially the tank destroyers, right? Like, these guys, honestly, right now should start pulling back in my eyes, because you don't want to get caught out here when the team is going like this. I'm trying to get shots into the even 90, but again, guys, I had to push this team, man. I said, too many of you doing F-all, man. Like, pick a side. Like, even if you want to go this way, that's fine, but like, do something, you know. Like, there's just too many people in this area, and these mediums here are useless, man. They're not really doing anything because they're looking for shots here, but they're not really going to get them, right? Because I think a lot of these people are going to be staying pretty safe, they're hold down, whatever. And we need all these mediums here to start like either going this way or going this way. There comes a time, guys, where you have to move, right? Like, you have to start advancing. This game wants to be realistic, but it's just not. Like, yeah, this is a decent spot to sit. If in real life, if you're in a tank, you kind of want to get some high ground, whatever. But in reality, like, that's not the way this game works, right? Like, you shoot people and you hit them for hit points, for damage, right? Like, it's a video game. So you have to start advancing at some point and doing something, or else you're going to find yourself in trouble. So eventually here, what I'm going to do is come south, and I want to sit and hold this ridge line right here in K4 area. No, it's more like K3, I think. This little ridge line right here, right? So I'm just going to actually pause this. I still have the camera. It's going to lag a little bit. I forgot I'm on full screen. But this ridge line right here, guys, this is what you want to hold, right? So just bear with me. I forgot it was on full screen, so I won't do that again for this video. But that's what you want to hold when the team is pushing from the east. Because if you lose that ridge line, you're going to be in trouble, man. Like, once the enemy team gets back into this area, especially if they have a light tank, this whole area like becomes too dangerous, too risky to be in. And then you have to try and stay in this little dip back here in like H1, G1 area, and you just can't defend the base, right? So I make an aggressive play. If these guys were smart, they would probably all press into me and try and stay safe by this building right here. That's the best way to press this, is to come up and over and take this area of the map so that you can poke out in these areas and try and spot the enemy team, right? And then you can even use this ridgeline and run across the ridgeline like this. You can actually run across the ridgeline and come into this pocket right here. This is the best way to approach it, guys. What these guys should have done is use the ridgeline, come up like this, and sit right here in around F4 and spot the enemy team. Or spot our team, right, for their guys. And then all these people could have gotten shots. But all these guys hung out in this area, and I'm just going to adjust to it as I see fit, right? 704 pokes up, I'm spotting him, and I'm just using these trees to my advantage. Borisk is kind of doing the right thing, but then he stops here. Like, these guys need to take advantage of the map that they have, right? This is very important to note, guys. We have one defender over here. These guys do not have shots. If these guys were to come down like this on the ridgeline, you might take one hit, but someone needs to come down, and the Boris would be the best one to do it. Someone needs to come down like this and around, and if they got into this area, you can poke this bush here. UDES would be lit, RHM would be lit, GSOR would be lit. I can't counter it, and even you can see even 90 is trying to do that, right? I can't counter it because I'd be dead, right? They have a Conway, they have an ISU. Luckily, he only had 44 HP, so he couldn't take a shot, right? But if the Borisk did this, I'm telling you, he would be good to go, right? He would probably be fine. And you can see him trying to do that here. Put one shell into the Borisk, right? And now what I need to do is hug this trench line. I call it a trench line. It's a ridge line. But what I need to do is hug it because I don't want to get hit by these guys now. Right, I don't want to get hit by 704, T34, and we take 2 there, and look, we're basically a one-shot already. And this is why conserving your HP is so important, guys, because if I didn't have HP, this game is a loss. Like, if I go down right here, this game is a loss, because all these guys now are going to adjust and push in, and, you know, these guys likely wouldn't be able to defend the base because we don't even own, like, we own like a quarter of the map right now, right? Like, this is it. This is the only quarter we own. A quarter. It. It's like almost perfect, right, man? You guys can see that on the map. But this is the thing, right, guys? It's like you need to own map in order to win the game most times, like more times than not. And we don't own the map. However, these guys don't adjust to it. And I know I sound like a broken record already in this video, but all these guys just sit here, so I'm just going to keep them here. Like, there's no reason for me to run away. Full HP 704, Type 59G, and even the EBR pokes up again, and I'm telling these guys, like, adjust, boys. Like, do something. Like, try something. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people back here. UDES is almost full HP. T54E1 is maybe 2/3 HP. We have a full HP RHM. We have a full HP UDES. We have a half HP GSOR 1010. Defender is very low on HP. Char is maybe a 2-shot. Like, there's a lot of HP back here, though. There's a lot of freaking HP, and I'm lucky to bounce the Type 59G there. So I'm just trying to remain safe here. I kind of wish this dead tank wasn't here. I'd have easy shots on the 704, but he's using his dead teammate's tank, right, to make some safe pokes there, and that's good on him. It's just these guys needed to make adjustments, man, because they won so much of the map, right, and they didn't take advantage of it. That's how we were able to eventually win this one. I'll spoil it for you guys. It was a win, and I'm telling these guys, like, adjust, boys. Like, come around, try something, do something. Like, come through this way. They're giving you the map here. Like, yeah, the Conway and ISU are kind of question marks, but Lorraine was just spotted here. Like, these are the only 2 guys you might encounter and you might have trouble with. Just try and push this way through. Like, that's the best thing to do, is to flank these guys at this point, because they're not going anywhere. Like, the 704 is just sitting here. He's not trying to maneuver or do anything. And this is what happens, guys. Like, you're going to get players in this game that aren't quite sure what to do in certain situations, and you... For both teams, right? The 704 was kind of like, I can't really do anything here, and I don't blame him. You know, it's not a fast tank. He's a turretless TD. He's not sure what he needs to do here, and my team isn't sure. Eventually, they finally come around and flank him, and look, this is now a GG. It's like so easy, man. I'm telling them, like, try something, experiment, try something. I type a few dots in the chat. I'm like, easy, you know. All you got to do is hit W or something like that. I said, you know, got to hit W sometimes, and this is the case, guys. Like, I want to show you this replay, and you guys know how I emphasize certain things, but you really need to pay attention to what's going on in this game and how I basically influenced my team to flank around, because Conway then got lit here, and it's just like, these guys are way too passive over here, so take advantage of it. Be aggressive, guys. You know, be aggressive. We have so many teammates, so much HP. Like, do something with it. You know, at this point in the game, there's 5 minutes left. Like, start doing something. So they do. We clean all those guys up, and that's how we handled the situation. And again, if this team was smarter, I'd be dead, right? I'm not trying to say that this is a perfect play or anything. It's not the safest play, but I took the chance, spotted this ridge line, kept these guys lit, None of them pressed me, and we ended up coming out with a win because I made this play, right? 1500 spotting, 1600 damage, nothing crazy. It's just I'm really a big, you know, part of this team because of the way I was keeping these guys lit while they did nothing for, I don't know, like 3 or 4 minutes. We were sitting there, right? So eventually we're going to push into the Conway. This Conway gets a really good blind shot on me. So you can see I'm using the tree here. I hit him here once. He knows where I'm at. He's aiming at me. I'm thinking he might try and blind fire me. I get that one there, and as I'm backing up, he actually hits me. It looks like he hit me right, like almost dead on, man, into the side of the tank. So it's a great, don't be afraid to take blind shots, guys. Like, this is a phenomenal blind shot on this guy's part. He knows I have to be right behind this tree. He's a good player. He's like, all right, if this guy isn't spotted and he's shooting me here, this is the only place he can be is right behind this tree. So he takes the shot and he hits me. So don't be afraid to take blind shots, guys. If you know within, like, you know, a small area where someone's going to be, just take the shot, man. Like, you have nothing to lose. So it's good play on his part. And I'm trying to switch here, but it switches, like, you can't switch on the replay, right? But I always think I can for whatever reason. But I think we can actually do the free replay camera. Let's do that. Just so you guys can see what happens to this ICU over here. These guys are going after him. And that's pretty much going to be the game, right? And I will once again explain kind of what I did in this game, guys, with the free replay camera. Just kind of see what happens here. This guy gets flanked. There you go. He's dead. And that's all. And I know, like, everyone was giving me these tips. You can use the numbers to go faster, so we'll do that. And then I'll go to, like, 4 or something. Okay. So over on this ridgeline, guys, what ends up happening is the team will push in, right? Team will push in. I'm going to use the drawing feature. I know it's going to lag a little bit for a second, but it's fine. This ridgeline, guys, right? What's going to happen is this team, if they win, they're going to push in like this. Some of them might, and they're going to want to poke this ridgeline. They're going to poke up like this and all. And you can sit in this little area right here where there's trees, right? You can sit here. There's a tree. Let's draw a tree. There. That's my tree. But there's a tree here, right, guys? Some roots, you know, whatever. But you have this here, you have this foliage here to keep you safe while you spot the people that are on this ridgeline. If this team was smart, what they would do is push around like this. And doesn't mean the heavies have to do this, just the fast tanks. You push a couple guys into here, even just one guy. The EVA 90 tried to do it, but just didn't have the HP to spare. And you can spot this entire freaking thing, man, if you get someone into this area. So that's what I wanted to draw for you guys. That's what I wanted to show you. But you have to use terrain to your advantage, and it's the perfect play, right? Because you can stay safe as you traverse through the bottom of the ridgeline here. You might get spotted, you might take a hit or two, but the point being is, like I said, you want to use a mobile tank to get here, but your goal, right? Like, even if you die making this play, like you get to this area and you poke the bush and you get hit, it's like you're giving your team so much information, right? And a lot of them will have shots on people that are in this area, that are in the dip here. I will say this is one of those maps where it's fairly easy to defend the base from each side, depending on how aggressive the push is, right? It wasn't that hard for us to defend this, even though they had a plethora of tanks over here, just because they weren't being aggressive. But use the terrain to your advantage, guys. All right, use the terrain. This is how Live Oaks works. Like, look at the terrain, man. If you were to go down, I'm so glad this free replay camera, like, dude, this free replay camera is, it should cost money to have this thing. It's so nice to show you guys how this works. Like, come down on this ridgeline and look. I'm trying to make myself as if I'm a tank, right? Come all the way around like this. Come through here, and you might get, again, you might take a shot here, like the EVA 90 got lit, but once you get into this area, man, like, look, you can't get hit from anywhere. Like, people might be on the hill here, but you're safe to sit down in this area, and you can poke this bush line, and you can spot, like, everything here, and then you can even poke up here. You just have to be cautious because there's some gaps right here in the bushes. But I hope that helps you guys out in understanding how Live Oaks works, man. Like, this ditch right here, and this ditch over here are vital, 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 vital to take in order to outspot the enemy team if they're defending the base. So right here, this ridgeline right here, take it as a light tank. You can come through like this on the east, take this ridgeline, or you can push through the mid. And same thing goes for this one. I would say you're even more safe to do it on this side, but it's the same process over here, and it's so vital, guys, to take these ridge lines. It's really going to help you out in outspotting the enemy team on both sides if they're defending the base. So hope all that helps you out. We've talked about this map enough. Let's move on to the endplates, but really like to give you a detailed overview of these maps, guys, to help you out. So here we go. It was a second class game, 1490 spotting, 2132 damage. And we're like in the middle here. By experience, I think we're up fairly high. I think I had it sorted by damage for the screenshot. And let's take another quick look at this, just so you guys can see. It looks like their ISU had a pretty good game, TNH. And our T54E1, Shard, UDES, Defender, like all these guys that stayed alive played very, very well, man. I just needed them to be more aggressive. RHM did well too. GSOR, like half this team performed very well. Very well, guys. They did well. Like, look at all the kills, look at all the damage. But sometimes it requires a kick in the butt, right? Like, it's what I'm trying to do in the chat, you know. I'm giving a kick in the butt via the chat, like, come on, guys, let's go. Like, nudging these guys, you know, like, come on, guys, you got to make a play here. You got to make a move, or, you know, this game's going to be a draw or something, right? Nothing more to see here, guys. 13 shots fired, 10 hits, 9 pens, 12-minute, 8-second battle duration. Pretty long for Live Oaks, but we came out with the win, and that's what's important. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. Hope you learned a thing or two. If you are learning from the content, do sub, guys. It would help me out, and I'll see you for the next one. Bye-bye now.